Okay, we are officially recording.
Okay, great. So I'm going to talk just for a few minutes, you guys, about Beachbody On Demand, and then I'm going to let Ashley take over. I have dinner guests tonight, so I'm going to maybe bail out a little bit early. I've done this training with Ashley before. It's outstanding, so I'm really excited that you guys can do this, and I hope you take away a lot of really good tips and tools about how to define your why a little bit deeper than it already is. So Beachbody On Demand, I know a lot of you guys did not or could not watch the surge. It's 2 hours long, so there's a lot of information in that. The information really happens in the first, I would say, 45 minutes. So if you could bounce on that, it would be good. If you could refer to the frequently asked questions in your Coach Online office, that would be good too. I'm always happy to answer questions in our group, but sometimes it's repetitive. So try to pay attention in our team group to questions about Beachbody On Demand. And if you are wondering if there's any past questions, if you just do a search in the search tool box in our group, it's on the top right corner, and I would search Beachbody On Demand or BOD or DOD, Digital On Demand. Those three different words and conversations will come up, and you'll learn a lot from them. So I don't know, and I also don't know if you've seen my video on Beachbody On Demand. Some of you may have gotten my newsletter. So I did post it on my timeline. I posted it in my women's group, and I posted it on my Facebook business page. And I think it defines it pretty well, how I am leveraging Beachbody On Demand with my personal customers. But one thing I want to touch base with you on is every single person that you sell a challenge pack to, and when it comes time for the reminder that you send people for their Shakeology HD before their next bag ships, that is a time that you can also tell them about club membership, because they will be getting an email for them to opt in after they purchase a challenge pack. If I were you, I would go into your Coach Online offices and see who's ordered past challenge packs from you. And this is a great way for you to re-engage with some customers if they have, or if they're not currently on Shakeology, if they've stopped their HD order. They can start a new HD order with Digital On Demand, Beachbody On Demand, and for only $12 more, they're going to get Shakeology and they're going to get Beachbody On Demand. And they may be customers who really aren't interested in one of our newer programs, but they say they did T25 or they did Chalene Extreme or whatever you sold them in the past. Now you have this option to say, hey, we have this great tool. You might not be interested in purchasing another newer program, but you will have access to all of these great free programs basically for $12. They're going to get P90X, P90X2, P90X3, Insanity. I think Hip Hop Abs is in there. The whole Turbo Fire is in there. So those are complete programs. I hope some of you have checked it out with nutritional guides and schedules, just as if you were to get the program in your home. That's what you're going to get with Beachbody On Demand. Now, then there's the other little snippets. I think there's one workout each in T25, Insanity Max 30, Extreme 21-day fix, regular 21-day fix, and
PiYo.
You get PiYo Sweat. So they have all this great fitness, all these great fitness programs, plus they get Shakeology HD. And if they're past customers that haven't ordered in a while, what I'm noticing is Beachbody's not taking Success Club points away from me from those orders. And I even have Success Club points in February that never got deducted from 3 different people who had placed prior challenge pack orders with me. And I brought that to their attention, and they still have not taken those away from me. So I'm not saying that's not going to happen, but I know how busy corporate is right now, and Success Club points may not be something they're really being stringent on right now, because there's so much other stuff going on. So I'm going to be reaching out to a lot of my customers who I've sold challenge packs to in the past, and telling them it's a great time to get back on Shakeology and try a new program with many choices. So, and I also want you to understand that the $38 is not going to be billed until the second month before their next bag ship. So they have 30 days where they pay $140, and then the next 30 days on whatever their ship date was from the first order, they're going to get charged that $38, and they can continue with Beachbody On Demand after that for 3 months with that $38, and then they're going to be billed again for $38. Now this price may go up, and I have a feeling it's going to. So it's a really good time. And what they did a few years ago when they raised the price of Shakeology, a lot of us were grandfathered in at lifetime of $89.89 or something. So I still have a Shakeology order on HD that I'm paying $89 for. I know a lot of our other older coaches are too, because we never canceled those HD orders. Same thing's going to happen maybe with Beachbody On Demand. I'm not saying it is, but there's a good chance that we could be grandfathered in, and so could your customers at $38 every 3 months. So it's just a really great tool. I don't want you to be scared of it. Now, of course, I'm still going to sell challenge packs that aren't available with Beachbody On Demand. 21-day fix. They need the containers. They need the meal program, the meal plan that's not on Beachbody On Demand yet. So they're going to have to purchase the program. Some people will still want DVDs. You know, there's lots of different ways to do this. Somebody who, I mean, this is a perfect example. They have TurboFire on sale right now in a challenge pack, I believe, and they have Beachbody On Demand for less, and they get TurboFire. So why would you sell a TurboFire pack? Sell them Beachbody On Demand. So that's how I'm utilizing Beachbody On Demand. I'm going to amp up my own personal posts on posting where I'm using it. So this coming week, for example, I'm traveling. I'll be taking it with me. I'll be doing Carl's #BOD in specific places, maybe the airport, maybe in our hotel room, whatever, just to get some curiosity and some more stimulation on Facebook and Instagram. And I just think that, you know, don't miss the boat on this. Learn about it and do your best to sell it, because it's going to be a very cool thing, especially when they start putting programs in there that your customers sort of already bought. Right. They're going to need to have club membership to access those on demand. So, you know, no more saying, yo, you don't need club membership, because they kind of do. And when I send out their reminder for their Shakeology, I'm also going to say you might want to opt in for club membership, because you're going to get all this free stuff, as well as entitlements and past purchase unlock features for your programs you purchased. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Ashley. We are going to have you comment and question within our team group, our big team group, Team Become the Dream, so that eliminates some of the questions that are going to come up today after the call. And you can also post your questions for Beachbody On Demand in the group as well, and I will get to them by tomorrow morning. All right, okay. Ashley, you're up.
All right. So essentially what I'm leading you through today is something that I did in like a 7-hour workshop. So I'm condensing it down so that obviously we can get it in this call. So some of this stuff I'll go through pretty quickly, especially the first exercise, but please, take the time here in the next few days to go back through it, watch this video again, and take a little more time to do especially this first exercise. Essentially, we're going to talk about our whys, as we know that it's an integral part of our business and our whole purpose of being a coach and leading a team. So, you're going to hear me use the term dream a lot, because to me, my dream and my why is pretty much the same thing. And you're also going to hear God quite a bit in this topic today, because I'm pretty much going to be reading to you from one of John C. Maxwell's books. The quote that success leaves clues. Pretty much for me to redo what he's done in this book would be silly. It's everything we need to know for today. So if you're not, I think we all can relate to some God one way or the other. So please don't be offended by it if you're not connected to God, but just use it for whatever your God is, please. And so we'll just get right into it. I asked you to bring pen and paper of some sort, a blank page hopefully is what you have in front of you. Essentially, we're going to enter a dreaming room. This room is a room that doesn't have the word no in it. There's no I can't. There's no tomorrows. Essentially, it is a clean slate of anything you can imagine, anything you can dream of. So I'll start you off with a few prompts that really helped me in this exercise. They were written on the back of this wall. Things like, a perfect day in my life would include, if I had all the time and money in the world. And the one that really helped me was, I was meant to blank. So what we're going to do just for a couple of minutes, like I said, please go back and do this more, but the one that really helped me a lot was, a perfect day in my life would include. And then you can either draw what that would look like. I mean, how silly is my drawing, Shannon? So totally do not feel bad. And then I'm more of a word person, so mine just has words in all different colors because that's what we were prompted to do, just because it made us dream more. So just take a couple of minutes to just jot down a few ideas of what a perfect day in your life would include. Or if you had all the time and money in the world, what would that look like? What would that create for you? And another one that's a good prompt was, I was meant to blank. So like your purpose, what were you meant to do? If I was really awesome, I would have cued the dreaming music right now, like Milan did, because it was like so peaceful and tranquil, but I don't have that right now. So I could sing, but that is not what my purpose is. That is not what I was meant to do. And just give me a thumbs up when you feel like you've gotten it out. I know I don't want to rush you at all, so just give me a thumbs up when you think you've jotted down some things that... Thanks, Shelly. Thanks, Jonna. And I'm just going to read this passage while you guys finish up here. You'll see my head down a lot because I literally am going to be reading out of this book. So how do people discover their dreams? By dreaming. That may sound overly simplistic, but that's where it starts. Imagination is the soil that brings a dream to life. So that's essentially what we've just done, in a short period of time, written down some dreams that you would like to have for your life, right? And so that's what we will be building on how to make your why really, really powerful, because one of the most important steps is you first have to, have your dreams. So the first questions that he asks in this book, and by the way, the book I'm reading out of is Dream. It's See It and Seize It by John Maxwell. It literally is a 10-minute read. It's an incredible book. I think we got it for Success Club, or I don't know how I got it, but so 2 questions. What is your dream and how will you achieve it? The first question may be difficult to answer. You may have dreams, yet there must be one that stands out above all others, one that inspires you, energizes you, and empowers you to do everything you can to achieve it. And the second question is the reason most people never realize their dreams. They have no strategy in place for attaining it, no knowledge of what is needed, and must be sometimes sacrificed to have the dream come true. Dreams are valuable commodities. They propel us forward, they give us energy, they make us enthusiastic. Everyone ought to have a dream, but what if you're not sure whether you have a dream you want to pursue? A genuine dream is a picture and a blueprint of a person's purpose and potential. Or as Sharon Hole says, a dream is the seed of possibility planted in the soul of a human being, which calls him to a purpose, unique or a unique path to the realization of their purpose. So we're going to take a look at a few examples of dreamers. These people are unlikely to see their dreams come to fruition. There's daydreamers who really their dreams are just distractions from their current work. There's pie in the sky dreamers. Their dreams are wild ideas with no strategy or basis in reality. There's bad dreamers. Their dreams are worries that breed fear and paralysis. There's idealistic dreamers. Their dreams are images of the way the world would be if they were in charge. Vicarious dreamers live their lives through others. Romantic dreamers base their belief that others will make them happy. Career dreamers believe that career success will make them happy. Destination dreamers dream that position, title, or award will make them happy. Material dreamers believe that wealth or possessions will make them happy. And seasonal dreamers, they mistake short-term targets for genuine dreams. If you are one of these dreamers, we want you to know that there's good news. You can reshape your dream, you can overcome obstacles, and you can live your dream. So next we're going to go into the 5 common roadblocks that many of us encounter when we try to start working on this why or this dream. And this is a quote from Maureen Dowd. It says, "The minute you settle for less than you deserve, you get even less than you settled for." And I think that that is really, really good one. If you've ever given up on hope, lost sight of your dream, or never connected with it, something that you think is worth dreaming and working toward, perhaps it would help you to learn these next 5 reasons why. So roadblock number 1 that many people face, which I've seen a lot, is being discouraged from dreaming by others. As we know, the world is filled with dream crashers, crushers, and idea killers. Some people who aren't pursuing any dreams of their own don't like to see others pursuing theirs. Have any of you ever, thumbs up if you ever, if you know of anybody or have ever seen anybody, right? There's always those crushers out there. Roadblock 2, being hindered by the past disappointments and hurt. So disappointment is the gap that exists between expectation and reality. All of us have encountered that gap. We've had unexpectedly bad experiences. We've had to live with our unfulfilled desires, and we've had hopes dashed. Disappointments can be highly damaging to us. I think I identify with that one the most, right? Something doesn't go right in our business. We have a really bad few weeks, and what happens to our dream? What happens to our why? We get blocked by the fact we've had disappointments, right? Thumbs up if you ever had that. Roadblock 3, the habit of settling for average. This is a good one, huh? You can't reach for a dream and remain safely mediocre at the same time. The two are incompatible. That's a good one too, huh? Roadblock 4, which I think is one of the most important also, is the lack of confidence. Confidence separates the people who dream and pursue those dreams from those who don't. Self-confidence is vital to success. The more confidence you have in yourself, the less likely you are to give up on trying to get what you want. Who identifies with roadblock 4? Who has lack of confidence? Anyone want to thumbs up that one? Yay, nobody doesn't have, oh, we got one. Thanks, Renee. Roadblock 5 and the last one, the lack of imagination to dream. So I read this earlier, but imagination is the soil that brings a dream to life. So if we're not imagining and we're not dreaming, then our why is not going to happen. If we're not dreaming big enough, then we're going to remain mediocre. So on to the next step, that's a very important part. We're going to prepare our dream. So if we're unsure of what our dream might be, either because we're afraid to dream or because we somehow lost our dream along the way, then we can start preparing ourselves to receive our dream by doing these 6 things. So if you're taking notes, I'll slow down here. There's 6 ways to prepare for your dream. There's mental preparation, where we're going to read and study in the areas of our greatest interest. Number 2, there's preparation. We're going to engage in activities and areas related to our interest. So we're going to get into all these different groups. We're going to go to all of the different events that we can. We're going to tap into any of the activities that go into our area of interest. Number 3, visual preparation. We're going to put up pictures of people and things that inspire you. So what comes to mind for me? The dream board, right? We've all heard of it. Some of us may have created them. Very simple to do. Grab some magazines. Oprah used to have one that I used to put out there a lot, but it's been taken off of her site. So, you know, just grab some magazines and start clipping and put up your vision board of the people that inspire you and what you want to become. Number 4, the hero preparation. Read about and try to meet people you admire and who inspire you. So I think we're all doing this on some level every day. You know, we've really talked a lot as a group about who inspires us, especially in the leader page with the workbook. And that's, I think, a really important one as well. Number 5, your physical preparation, which is one of our vitals. Get your body in optimal shape to pursue your dream. And number 6 is the spiritual preparation. Seek God's help for a bigger than self dream. So those would be the 6 ways to prepare for our dream. And he just says in here, a dream is what you desire. If anything and everything is possible. I like that a lot. So next, we're going to own our dream. Make sure I didn't have. Think about your personal history. How have your plans, goals, and desires been influenced by others? Are you aware of how your vision of yourself has been impacted? Is it possible that your dreams are the result of who your parents think you are, who others think you are, who you wish you were? Or are they the result of who you really are and who you're really meant to be? So I'd like you to side note that, what I just said, and, you know, after the call or for your personal development section, really think about your goals and your desires and your why, and make sure that, like that last sign, the last line here says, make sure they're really who you want to be, not who others, who the impression that maybe others have made on you. I think that was a really good one for me to do, because I always held on to my parents. You know, they were such a huge force in my life, still are to this day, but a lot of the things that went in my head as a little girl got trapped in there, and I didn't really go straight through to what I wanted to be. So that's a good thing to put on your personal development. And we have some other books that can be linked to that whole thing too. But so how do you know whether you're pursuing a dream that's not really your dream? It's pretty simple. If you're not pursuing a dream that's yours, it won't have the right fit. It will be like a weight on your shoulders. It will drain your energy. It will put you to sleep. It will take you out of your strength zone. It will be fulfilling to others, and it will, this I think is most important, it will require others to make you do it. So if your dream or your why requires your coach, requires your husband, requires somebody else to push you to do it, it probably is not your dream. Here's when you know it is your dream or your why. It will feel right on you. It will provide wings to your spirit. I get choked up reading this, because seriously, like when you can think about your why, it will provide you wings to your spirit if it's your own dream. It will fire you up. It will keep you up at night. It will take you out of your comfort zone. It will be fulfilling to you, and you will feel like you were made to do it. So I'm going to post a picture of that in the group, because literally every single one of those you should be feeling right now. If you have your purpose in line and you have your why in line, you are going to be, you're right there. This book is Dream, See It and See It by John C. Maxwell. This one right here. I just saw that pop up on the chat. So, okay, so let me just take a little sip of water here after that little emotional. All right, so now we're going to move into a little more about obtaining our dream or owning it. When the dream is right for the person and the person is right for the dream, they cannot be separated from each other. If something is truly your dream, you need to see the possibility it represents, and you need to own it. You need to be willing to bet on yourself. You may succeed if nobody believes in you, but you will never succeed if you don't believe in yourself. In fact, if you can't believe in yourself, you will have a very difficult time believing in much of anything else. You will be adrift in the world with nothing compelling you to move forward. People who take ownership of their dreams believe in themselves. And when they believe in themselves, they are willing to bet on themselves. I love this part so much. Believe in your vision for the future, even when others don't understand you. Though you have great potential and the seed of purpose in you, others will not necessarily understand you. Don't let that dissuade you from taking ownership of your dream and moving forward. If your dream is really your dream, then it will seem outrageous to more than a few people. And how I relate to this and how I can tell you that using this has pushed my business forward tenfold is my social media posts. You know, when I get that feeling like, oh, all you do is post about Beachbody and a few of your kids and some recipes, and oh, people are just going to get so tired of it. You know, it goes right back to that point of, I'm not going to let that dissuade me from my dream, because a few people are going to get annoyed by that. They're probably going to unfollow me or unfriend me, and that's totally cool because I don't want them on my bus anyways, right? So I think that this part in your vision has to be super clear, because you can't care what other people feel about your dream. People are going to totally think it's crazy that I am going to have no debt by the end of this year, but I'm going to do it, and they can, you know, they can see that at the end, but I'm not going to let them saying, oh, you're never going to be able to do that, take me away from my goal. Part 2. So now we're going to get into how will you achieve it. I'm going to slow down a little bit so you guys can take notes. Some of these are some really good ones. If you want to accomplish a dream, then you will be able to see, or you will only be able to do so when you can see it clearly. Most people define it before you can pursue it. Oh, sorry, you must define it before you can pursue it. Most people don't do that. Their dreams remain dreams, fuzzy and unspecific. As a result, they never, ever achieve them. If you want to achieve your goals and dreams, you need to bring it into focus. And here we're going to go into 5 ways to bring it into focus. So the first is a clear dream makes a general idea very specific. The second is a clear dream doesn't become clear without effort. The third is a clear dream affirms your purpose. Number 4, a clear dream determines your priorities. And I'm just going to read a little bit about the priority one because I thought it was really important. It is easy to get caught up in the day-to-day process of life so that you lose sight in the big picture. However, when your dream is clearly in sight, it helps you get your priorities straight. Nobody can have it all. We like to think we can, but we can't. If you see your dream clearly and keep it in front of you continually, it will help you understand what you must sacrifice and what you must dedicate yourself to in order to keep moving forward. Only a clear picture of who you are and where you want to go can help you prioritize what you need to do. We all make choices. Clarity of vision creates clarity of priorities. So I think that goes really well to our call prior to, you know, two calls prior to this about your power hours and about, you know, I know some of you aren't in our Dash to Diamond group, but, you know, not only having a why, but having the why list and keeping it right in front. I mean, my why list is taped to my window. It's right there so that every time I'm sitting here, I'm looking at it and I'm seeing what I want to accomplish. If you're not a paper to pen person, I'm going to just beg you to please start writing things down. It is the magic that happens. And speaking about writing some things down, here are some questions that I want you to write down and then, you know, talk with your upline about after this call or post in the group your answers if you're brave enough. But the first question, what do you want to accomplish? Second question, what do you want to experience? What do you want to contribute? Who do you want to become? In other words, what does success look like for you? If you don't define it, you won't be able to get where you want to go. And also, when you bring your dream into focus, it should confirm the sense that you're going in the right direction, and it should strengthen your sense of purpose. So if you're dialing this in and it's still not making sense and it still doesn't feel right, then you'll know that maybe you need to go back and redefine your why and redefine your dreams. Maybe you're not dreaming big enough, you know? It's a really big possibility. All right, so now we're going to get into building your dream. It's one of the last parts, and it's definitely one of the most important. As you move forward in the pursuit of your dream, you need to ask yourself, am I depending on factors within my control to achieve my dream? People who build their dreams on reality take a very different approach to dreams than people who live on Fantasyland. Take a look at how differently they approach achieving a dream. So the fantasizers and the dream builders. The fantasizers, am I saying that right? Fantasizers? Fantasizers. That sounds so weird. Okay. Rely on luck. This is what they do. They rely on luck. They focus on the destination. They cultivate unhealthy expectations. They minimize the value of work. They look for excuses. They create inertia. They breed isolation. They wait, and they avoid personal risks. Whereas the dream builders, they rely on discipline, focus on the journey, cultivate healthy discontent, maximize the work they do, lead to action, generate momentum, promote teamwork, initiate, and embrace risk as necessary. People who are successful in the long run don't leave everything to chance. They focus on what they can do, and then they do it. To achieve your dream, you not only need to work hard for it, but you also must have to make sure it plays to your strengths. That means knowing what you can and cannot do. The first step in facing reality requires you to look at yourself realistically, to see yourself as you truly are. The nature of self-evaluation has a profound effect on the person's values, beliefs, thinking processes, feelings, needs, and goals. Focus on doing the things you love to do and building on your strengths. That's why Shelly so many times says, find your wheelhouse. Find what you're strong in. Because if you're trying to do all the social medias, if you're trying to do all these different things, if you're trying to help everyone, then it's not narrow enough. It's not focused. It's not your strengths. So not only identify the customer you want to work with, which can be a whole nother chat at another time, but really hone in on your strengths, because when you focus on your strengths, that is when you're going to reach your goals. So building your strengths activates the law of least effort. When you build on your strengths, the activities using those strengths come more easily to you. When people are going with their strengths and working in their sweet spot, the work they do is simple and easy. However, when they're focusing their effort in an area of weakness, what they do is complex and difficult. To achieve your dream, you have to build on your strengths. Building on your strengths also gives you consistent good results. It also gives you your highest return. So this part is really, really awesome. It uses the word secure. So write that at the top of your page, secure. And this is so rad, I just have to tell you. I've had this book for probably like 2.5 years, and when I was preparing for this call, I wanted to read a few of his notes from the next book I'll tell you about, but I found this and I was just like, oh, this is so perfect. So, to achieve your dream, you must plan. A strategy is an important part of the dream and the dream itself. Most people would agree that planning is important, however, they still neglect to do it. They forget to make it a part of the process. We're so busy stargazing that we neglect strategizing. That's a good one, really good one. So here is an approach to planning that can assist you using the word secure. So for the S, write, state all your positions. State all your positions. The process of reaching your dream is like reaching a destination using a GPS device. If it knows where you are, and you tell it where you want to go, it will create a map for you, right? The difference between the GPS and you is that you have to create all your turn-by-turn directions. So as you begin to write out the steps you must take to reach your dream, don't expect it to be able to follow them quickly and easily. Plans are clear and simple. Life and the pursuit of the dreams are messy. So, to make it really simple, since I read fast, it's just like a GPS. If you tell it you want to go somewhere, it's going to give you the turn by turn. So no different in us achieving our why. We're going to have to do all these little steps to get there. So take some time in the next week or so to really try to identify what those key steps are going to look like for you, whether they're business, whether they're financial, whether it's personal goals that you're going to have to reach to get you to that big scary why. If it's debt, for me, I had to list down every single thing I'm going to have to pay off, right? Because otherwise I won't know where I'm going. I want to pay off my debt. Well, how much do I have, right? So you have to state all your positions. For the E, examine all your actions. The real difference between a dream and wishful thinking is what you do on the day-to-day. Yeah, you can have that. It's fine. You don't have to army crawling. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. The real difference between a dream and wishful thinking is what you do day to day. In the beginning, you just need to get moving. Try different things. It's much easier to start doing something right if you've already started doing something. So I think this is so key for our brand new coaches, right? You just got to start doing something. You just got to start trying different things. I mean, it's just like the like page that Shelly was just talking about in the chat prior. You have to test it. You have to see what's working. You have to see what time of the day it's working. But you won't know until you try it, right? And it's much easier to start trying when you're already going. So examine all your actions. C, consider all your options. Once you figure out a plan for reaching your dream, the steps you need to get there, there's a danger that you'll become inflexible and try to stick to your plan no matter what. Sometimes it's wiser to explore other options. When you're having a hard time moving forward, don't be quick to revise your dream. Instead, revise your plan. So that one's super awesome too. If you are getting stuck, don't think, oh, it's got to be my dream. Go and look at your GPS and make sure you don't need to just add a couple turns in there. For the U, it's utilize all your resources. And boy, for this one with Beachbody, we are so lucky because we have so many resources that are at our fingertips. And he just says you need to engage every resource you have in order to make your dream come true. I don't know how many self-help books I've read in this last 2.5, 3 years of coaching, but almost every single one of them says find out every single thing you need to know about your business, the people that are doing it. I mean, it's a pretty common thread in all books, right? So you should be in that online office. There shouldn't be any tab you haven't clicked on. The success tab in general is completely full. All of us are open books. I mean, a lot of the upline coach, not even in our upline, a lot of the top 10 coaches are open books. Just send them a message if you have a question for them. But utilize all of that. Don't be shy about it. And R, I think R is probably the most important, especially in my personal journey, but remove all your non-essentials. You will have to give up things to achieve your dream. And the greatest challenge isn't giving up the obvious things that will hurt you. It will be giving up the good things that you like, but that won't help you. Removing non-essentials from your daily routine will be a constant struggle, but it is worth fighting for. Why? Because most people who fail to reach their dreams aren't stopped because insurmountable barriers confronted them. No, they often become worn out trying to carry too many things on their journey. So I think that's why we were asking you a few weeks ago to write down every single thing you do in a day. And it might sound really crazy, but the goal for doing that is for you to find your non-essentials. I mean, for me, it's TV. I still haven't given it up, but it's always a thing on the front of my head that says, if you give this up, I bet you'll be 2-star. If you give this up, and so I haven't given it up, but I know it's a non-essential. So it's looking at your day, and that's why it's important to write it down every 10 minutes what you're doing so you can really see where you can take those things out. And last and not least, embrace all your challenges. Once you've stated all your positions, examined all your actions, considered all your options, utilized all your resources, and removed all your non-essentials, you still have one more thing to do. Embrace all your challenges. King Solomon, considered one of the wisest men who ever lived, wrote, "A sensible man watches for problems ahead and prepares to meet them. The simpleton never looks and suffers the consequences." So reaching your God-given potential requires taking responsibility for yourself and your life. It means taking an active leadership role with yourself. How do you do that? By saying yes to yourself to your hopes, to your dreams. Every time you say yes, you open yourself up to your potential and to greater possibilities. If you're used to saying no, you may find it difficult, but it is true and if this is true in your case, then at least you'll be willing to say maybe to yourself. Never forget that you are a miracle, that you are unique, possessing talents, experiences, and opportunities that no one else has ever had or will ever have. It is your responsibility to become everything that you are, not only for your benefit, but also for everyone else's. Your dream, see it, seize it, and keep it alive. So essentially that's what I wanted to read out of this. We do have a really small group. I would definitely be into not necessarily opening it up to like general questions, but if we want to talk about this specific, or maybe if anyone's brave enough to actually talk about their why. Shell?
One thing that I just want to touch on when Ashley was talking about recognizing your strengths, one of the most profound things I heard I've been to 3 summits now, was when John C. Maxwell spoke. And I looked over at Joe and Ashley at the time he said this, and knowing they have kids, and I'm probably going to get emotional, but seeing the tears in their eyes when he talked about this, because so often we are told to focus on our strengths, on our weaknesses. Your kid's not good at algebra. Your kid's not good at reading. He needs to do more of this. He needs to do more of that. Why don't you turn that around and focus on the child's strengths instead of the child's weaknesses, and see how far that child excels, and forget about the weaknesses for a while, and applying that to your own personal world. We're all not good at everything, you know, but I let go a long time ago that I'm not good at certain things. So I'm going to focus on what I am good at, and I'm going to run with it, because I know I can do that, and I know I can improve, because I like being good at it. I like being good at those things. Being bad at focusing on my weaknesses, and it's a struggle. You see children all the time who can't read properly, and it's crammed down their throat, and they're just frustrated and crying, and they hate school, and they don't want to go. So, you know, turn that around, and really, really, I want you to really, really focus on your strengths, because that's what's going to fuel you. That's what's going to help you soar through this. It's not trying to fight your way through Instagram like I've done. I keep a presence there, but I'm over it. I'm not good at it. Instagram is going away for me. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to focus on Facebook. That's my strength. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to get better at it. And I love it. So why not? Why not? I'm sitting here beating my head against the wall with Instagram for the last 9 months. I'm not doing it anymore. So find something that you're good at. Now, Kelly Hanner has killed it. Many people, Andrea's great on Instagram, but it's not me, and it may not be for you. So go away from it and do something else. Focus on your strengths. Focus on what feels right to you.
It's so true. I mean, Shelly's talking about my child. I mean, when Joe and I were sitting there, we were pretty much crying hysterically because, you know, our oldest child has pretty severe, you know, learning disabilities, and we had, at that present time, sitting there at Summit, we had like hired all these crazy people to like get him to read and get him to write. And his life existed of school for 7 hours. And he came home, and for an hour, we shoved it down his throat, and he cried, and he hated school, and he cried on the way to school, and he cried when we picked him up from school, and it was hell. And us hearing that, we came home that summer, we stopped it all. We started looking at his strengths, and he's still progressing at his own level, but he has a life now. And so when you put it to our own, I mean, wouldn't you feel better about yourself going to bed every night being like, yeah, I nailed that, instead of focusing all day on the stuff that you're not good at? It's not good for you. It's not good for your body, and certainly not good for business, because everyone's going to feel it around you. So I guess, you know, I'll go into my why a little bit and how it's changed. I mean, I started being a Beachbody coach in July of 2012 because I wanted a discount on Shakeology. Instantly started up a challenge group and was like, wow, I paid for my Shakeology in a week. What should I do now? You know, and then, you know, Shelly was new at it too at that point. She was only in her, 6th month of coaching at that point, 7th month. And so I just kind of started doing what she was doing, and that led me to have a good first successful year. And then I was like, well, I want to be diamond. So I got into this awesome group, which is a lot of like what the 30-day group is about right now, and started doing it and became diamond. And I'm like, well, this is cool. And then I won the Beachbody Challenge a couple weeks after that. And I'm like, well, this is great. And then I had no why. I had no specific purpose. I was just helping people. And then I went to Summit, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. And like, Shelly, I want to go to this party next year. And I think I got to go to the one party, but anyways, I wanted to go to the other stuff. And so I was like, okay, well, next time I'll do this. And so I set these big goals, and I didn't achieve them, besides being a Success Club All-Star 5. But I was kind of still lacking purpose. Then I went to Coachtoberfest, which is where this whole situation happened, the whole Dreaming Room experience and much of what I just went through, and everything changed. I instantly, I wanted to bring Joe home. It was kind of like this huge thing. I had to bring Joe home. But I never talked to Joe about him wanting to come home or being off the road. I was going to do it. I didn't care really what he wanted. I was just going to make enough money so he could come home. So then fast forward to, let's see, I guess that next March, which was a year ago, which was right when Shell's brother was lost at sea. And after that had happened, Joe and I had a really big talk about a lot of stuff, and I had realized that he didn't want to come off the road, and he didn't want to not do line work. And I was like, well, shit, that's what I've been working for all this time. So then my why got really super strong, because I watched what happened in Shelly's family and realized that Joe's job being one of the top 3 dangerous jobs as a fisherman, that it could happen to Joe at any moment. Why couldn't it happen to me? It happened to Shelly. And so then it got really strong, and I was like, all right, I'm going to bring Joe home for the winter months so he doesn't have to be in 23 below zero weather in Canada. And I pushed that whole year. I didn't hit the goals I wanted for Summit, but I had a super successful year financially. And I brought him home on my earnings. He literally didn't work from October 24th until just recently. So I was able to afford our lifestyle for those months. I was super excited. I was like, all right, I'll do it again. And then Ann Doble got a hold of me recently for our leadership call, and she was like, great, so you want to make this amount of money. That's awesome. So you're going to do that like in a couple months. What's the dream? And I was like, oh crap, you just called me out. And I don't know if many of you know Ann Doble, but you don't want to be called out by her. She will make you really push yourself hard, which is awesome. But then I had to really put my dream hat on. So essentially, you know, my list, what can Beachbody give to me? Financial freedom, limitless travel, more family time, which means Joe would either be off the road, which he's fine with now, or just be home more. I want my home remodeled, and I want my parents to be able to retire. So those are the things on those days that I don't want to work, that I'm having a bad day, that push me to be like, okay, well, I'll work today because I see how hard my parents are struggling today, and I want to help them out. And even though it's a little bit, it's not just for me, that specific goal is for me, because to be able to see them relaxed and retired would be everything to me. So that's my thing. Something that I put on my home screen since I made this is, a leader doesn't have the luxury to have a bad day. And I had to put that on my phone, because I have had a really rough winter months. Let's just say there's been a lot of stuff going on in my life. My mom almost died. My husband had to seek inpatient treatment for a little issue he had going on. And my life pretty much crumbled right in front of my eyes. And I had a lot of bad days, and I wasn't a good leader, and I didn't lead my team. And I did pretty good. I mean, it's not like I just didn't have success, but I wasn't the leader that I knew I could be. So when I took a hold of this after Ann and our call, and started working on my gold ships, seeing all of that, it is insane what has just happened in my business in 3 weeks. So I guess, you know, it's a really long version of my why, but you know, that's all part of the puzzle for me, and it's all part of how it's evolved and how it's changed, as you can see, in 2.5 years. It's not just always been one thing. You know, I've really had to work on it, and I still struggle with it sometimes, but having that list has changed everything to me. So if you're having a hard time with your why, maybe it's because it's too complex. Narrow it down. Like Ann told me in one of our calls was, see Beachbody as your cash cow. And maybe you don't want to see it this way because maybe it's not a financial goal for you. But for me right now, selfishly, because helping people that's my purpose in life. That's something that's in me that's always going to be in me. So that's not part of my Beachbody why at all, really, because that's just what I do every day. But for me, it's financial. And so she said to me, what do you want to do with your cash cow? You know, and I thought, wow, that's an interesting way to look at it. I've never looked at it that way. So this list is what I'm going to do with my cash cow. You know, that's what having this business is going to give to me, because like Ann said, you're probably not going to always be a Beachbody coach 65 years down the road, or however long we have, 35, whatever. You get what I'm saying. We probably aren't going to always, we're going to retire at some point, but this business is not going to retire. If we create this foundation and we create the solid business, it's going to keep giving and growing and growing and growing forever, right? So that's what helped me by seeing it as my cash cow, even though I still kind of hate saying that. But really it is. It's seeing what this business can give you on a personal level. And that's what's pushed me to my why. So.
And I think everybody should write that down.
Mm-hmm.
What is Beachbody going to do? Not what can Beachbody do. What is Beachbody going to do for you?
Yep. So do we want to go around and let's just answer that question. What will Beachbody give to you? Shelly, what is Beachbody giving? What will Beachbody give to you this year?
Well, my why kind of fluctuates a little bit, and it's kind of based on always now on that life is very, very short, and I don't have to go into my loss too much, but it's pretty much right in my face every single day. So I just learned recently that my sister-in-law is going to move to Arizona, and right now she's 4 hours away from me. So I see the kids once every month, basically. And that is going to change dramatically. So now my why is what Beachbody is going to provide for me is the ability to go see her in Arizona with the kids. You know, I'm hoping 4 times a year, maybe more. Beachbody is going to retire me from my job permanently. I'm not quite ready to do that yet for emotional reasons, but and for a couple other reasons, but there's some other reasons there, but eventually that will happen. I love working from home. Beachbody is providing me that. I love that I don't have to do my hair and makeup every single day. Mm-hmm. I love that Beachbody is providing me the ability to travel. And whether it's for business or pleasure, it's a great, great luxury. It's also filling me as a person. Beachbody fills me as a person, not only through helping others, but through seeing how much I've learned. I didn't think I was a very smart person before I became a Beachbody coach. I cut hair, for God's sakes. You know, I went to beauty school because I was afraid to go to college because I didn't think I was smart enough. And that is the God honest truth. So, but what Beachbody has given me is the ability to see that I'm not a stupid person and I am smart. And what I've learned in so many areas, from technology to social media to learning the ins and out of my computer or my phone, the ins and out of the Coach Online office, which, as you know, is not exactly user-friendly on most days. So I've learned so much. I've learned so much about myself. I would have never given myself this opportunity without Beachbody. Mm-hmm. And knowing that I'm not stupid, and people like me, and they like that I care about them, and that they tell me on some days that I've changed their life. You know, I see a Facebook post on my page where somebody says, "You changed my life. You saved my life." I mean, I don't even know what to say. I mean, that is like the biggest reward ever. That's because of Beachbody, not because I cut hair, not because I surf, not those other things I do in my life. It's because of Beachbody. So that's what fuels me. And certainly time. Giving my biggest why is time, freedom.
Awesome. This is our 3-year anniversary, by the way. Happy anniversary.
Well, actually, I've been happy anniversary.
I know. It was so crazy. I finished the 21-day fix on the exact day that I started, or the 21-day fix extreme, the exact day that I started my Chalene Extreme 90-day challenge.
That's
crazy. Nuts.
That is nuts.
Shannon, do you want to answer that question?
Yeah.
What will Beachbody give you this year?
Okay.
I gotta shut this door. My children are having a wrestling match.
This year specifically, or I'm trying, because my why, I'm new at doing this, even though I've been a coach for a while. Or are you talking about more in general, like what? Because I'm just now defining a why beyond, because I like to help people. So
what have you gotten so far? Do you want to care to share?
What? Okay, say it again. What that question is?
Well, you said that you. Sorry, I'm getting a lot of feedback from me.
Well, I'm unmuted.
No, just turn your volume down. I think.
I
can't. If I turn it down, I can't hear you
You're
guys.
good, Shannon. It was mine.
Oh, okay.
You said that you. Sorry, it's not better. You said that you just want to help people.
Well, that's what motivates me now, because I love to see people that don't have confidence have confidence. Okay. If I could give away what it feels like to be confident, to me, it's priceless to feel confident. And I haven't always been confident. I related to what Shelly said a bit, because I got married young. I didn't finish college. I had kids. All of my friends pretty much have college degrees, advanced degrees, and here I am. I don't even have an associate's degree. So I have felt that way before, less than, because of my lack of education. But I know that I'm getting on a tangent, but I know that I'm smart now. I do have confidence. But I'm thinking now long term, besides just what it feels like to help people, is like I want to be able to retire someday. Mm-hmm. I love my job. I do 2 jobs, and I love them both. One season I work at a school, and then I'm a bartender in the summertime at a water park, and that's a blast.
I love you.
I'm a librarian during the school year.
Oh my God, you're amazing. Okay,
so it's hysterical. But I'm going to be 50 in a couple months.
Right.
So I can't do that forever, and I enjoy traveling with my husband, and so I want to be able to afford to not work eventually and travel and not have the worries, like if a water heater blows up, or and then like Mark has a good job, he does well, but like you just never know with the economy. I mean, he works for a corporation. They could let him go. I mean, he's fantastic, but you never know. So that never know thing, I want to know.
There's your why, Shannon. There it is.
The other thing I would suggest for you, Shannon, is just I want you to dream a little bit bigger. I want you to go. I mean, I don't care if your dream is that you could afford everything from Lululemon that your heart ever desired. But I want you to establish some dreams that are just out there that you've thought of over the years that you maybe thought were impossible. We all
have those. I just don't talk about them, because I think that sometimes you don't talk about those things because you think, well, it might not ever happen. So like I would love to go back to San Diego and have like a condo right on the beach.
Perfect.
That's a big dream, because it's expensive.
Yeah.
To A, live in San Diego, and to B, afford to live on the beach. So, those are back there, but it's just like, it's scary to talk about them, because you
write them down.
You have to.
Yeah.
Put that house on the beach on a piece of paper and look at it every day.
Okay.
Because Beachbody will give you that. If you are consistent and you keep doing the vitals and you keep following this, you will have that. It's not an option of, it's just when, it's not if. So you like that quote in the book, listen to this again and listen to the part where he says, and he talks about being impossible, you know, dreams where you let go of that everything is possible. That is your dream, is that everything is possible. And I just typed that in the quote because I think that's where you should focus your time.
Okay.
If you had all the time and money in the world, blank, 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 blank. So, but
like I said, I'm turning 50, so my upkeep is getting very expensive.
You might want a facelift.
So that's on there too.
I love it. All right. Well, thank you for sharing.
Okay, thanks, you guys.
We know it's not easy, so thank you. Kiara, do you want to share? Did I say your name right?
Yeah, you said it right.
Okay. So basically,
Okay. I wrote some. Sorry.
oh no, go ahead.
Okay, so I wrote some things down, and I just want to talk about what it's been doing to me. Like Beachbody has been doing to me mentally. I was not confident at all, and I feel like in just a month, like I feel so much more confident. And people are saying that I'm inspiring, and literally like a month, I did not believe in myself at all, and I would not work out at all. And in the night, like you said, this is am I gonna put up? So yeah, but I want to be able to travel as well because I'm in Alaska, and because my husband is in the military, so Beachbody is.
Uh-oh, did we lose ya?
It's work over there as well. To have enough to like a good direct college, like for home, that's my dream. I don't know if you guys know, but I have a YouTube account, and that's like my dream is to get bigger on that.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Kiara, we're having that
making
little
me
bit of
emotional, especially Shelly.
sorry. I'm not sure if we should.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're just a little bit choppy. I heard your YouTube and then I couldn't hear. Go ahead and try again.
I basically just want to be able to have enough money for my like a professional camera, which is not really like a big dream, but for me, I've always wanted to direct and be into film. So this would be a good opportunity to save money for that. And also, I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I would love to help my husband with the bills as well. I mean, and have our dream house in Texas.
That's great. Those are some really great. You know, I agree with your camera being a pretty small goal, but it's a step in what your big goal is. So
yeah,
you know, it again, really focus on that. What I typed in the chat for Shannon would work really well for you is, you know, I hear what you're saying about your husband. I totally relate to that. It's totally doable with Beachbody. I hear you about your confidence and you're wanting to travel and your dream home. So write it all down on a list and put it right in front of wherever you work every day so that you have to look at that and you have to remember why you're doing this. But really, most of all, dream big in the aspect of it should literally scare the crap out of you to write it down on a piece of paper. It should be such a big thing that Shannon's tucked it away in her closet for 15 years and never told a soul that she wanted to move to the beach and own a home. You know, I mean, it really needs to be something that you are, it should scare you. You should lay at bed and think like, oh my God, like I told somebody that today, you know, and then that's the second step. Make sure you tell somebody.
And I agree with you with the dream board. I think I'm going to end up doing that.
Good.
And, you know, I want to say, too, like one coach I followed for a long time now is Lindsay Matway, and she was top coach last year, and she's always in the top 10 elite coach. And she's amazing, and I've watched her really transform in the last 4 years. But one thing, she does not go little on her dreams. And every single thing that she has voiced that she wants, whether it's a house, moving to Chicago, moving back to Florida, a car for her 30th birthday, her dream car, her dream cruise, she has done.
Yeah.
Every single solid one of her dreams have come true. Because she's diligent, she knows how to dream, and she reverse engineers and figures out what she has to do to get there. And then she puts those steps into action. It's all good on paper, but if you don't do the steps to get you to that dream, whether it's just simply the 3 vital behaviors, day in and day out.
Exactly.
Not disappearing when you have a day out, a bad day. I mean, whatever those things are, you have to put them into action.
Yep. It's so true.
And that's what turns wishes and dreams into reality. And with that, I'm going to leave you guys because I got to cook dinner, but I love you all. This has been a great dinner. Thank you, Ashley.
You're welcome. If you end, is it still going to be on?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Have a good dinner.
Okay.
All right. Ooh, everybody just position just shifted. Jonna, you're up, girl. And I just have to apologize because the boys are having an epic battle in the other room. So if it gets really obnoxious, you'll see me move.
Uh-oh. What are they fighting over?
Oh, I think this is just casual play at this point. This is just everyday, normal behavior.
Funny.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess my why's kind of changed a lot. I haven't been doing this very long, too. So mine was kind of like Shannon, where sign up for the discount, and I'm super into health and fitness, have been for quite a while. And so I kind of already have a big following of people that way. So I thought, well, make the easy thing out of it is to make a little bit of money off of doing what I'm already doing for people. But some things have changed at my job, and we have a new owner now. And so a lot has changed, and my happiness level is not what it used to be there. So my why recently has changed to drive me to want to earn enough to be able to, first of all, at least cut 1 or 2 days back, and then eventually be completely done, just be my own boss. You know, I want to not have to answer to somebody else that doesn't appreciate me.
And does that, you still want to do what you're doing on a daily basis. You just don't want to have, so you essentially want a space to, have you gone that far in your dream? Like, do you want your own space to be able to teach your classes, or do you still want to teach where are you at with that part of it?
Well, classes, I mean, teaching PIO and stuff, that's fine. I love doing that.
Okay.
But I mean, my normal job where I'm 40 plus hours a week, I'm a vet tech, and I work at 2 separate places, and one of them it sold last year, and it's just not been good.
Okay, I see.
Not been a good transition.
You want to retire yourself from your current job then?
Yeah, at least enough where I can just work. I mean, it's the same thing as Shelly. It's like there's emotional reasons why, and I love what I do. I would still do that, but it would be nice to just be like, hey, this is the day a week I'm gonna work, and you can have me. You know? Okay,
cool. So have you penciled a pin what it would take financially from Beachbody to do that?
No, I mean, I've just thought in my head, but nothing's been on paper yet.
So first action steps for you have a clear, direct purpose, you know, whether or not you have some other things that you also want to add to that, like travel, like, you know, whatever else you want, you know, more horses, I don't know, but, you know, put your cap on a little bit higher, because I personally know you're going to achieve that probably by the end of the year with the way you're going. So don't limit yourself, right? So put something else above that, but also that's an incredible place to go. So, but you have to do the S. You have to state your positions, right? So get out a pen and paper this week and write down every single thing it's going to take for you to leave that job, right? And then go from there. And then if that's not big enough for you and you're like, well, okay, wow, I could actually do that pretty soon if it keeps going this way, right? Or since it will keep going this way, then you need to have those other things that are shooting you up higher. You know, I mean, realistically for me, it's going to take me a while to get all this debt cleared out. I see that I've got 50 steps or whatever, you know, so make sure that your positions and you have enough turn by turn to get you there. But I think your why is it's, you know, does it keep you up at night? Do you think about, God, it would sure be nice to not have to get up and go to work, right? So it sounds to me, I mean, as sad as it is, I know you're not alone. So, you know, I think it's a great why, but I think you need to go just a tad bit higher. So just because I can see the potential that I know you've got. And because I was pushed, now I'm pushing everyone harder.
You're on it.
All right. Any other questions about all the stuff I went over? Or? Okay. Cool. Congratulations on Diamond.
Thank you.
All right. Caroline, how's it going?
Going good.
Good.
Sorry, my baby's everywhere, so.
That's okay.
camera
Totally
shit.
understand.
Mainly my why, like the main reason why I decided to do this because I lead with my heart and I love helping people. That's what I'm going to school for. That's what I work for, is like working with kids and stuff. But I think right now, at the end of the year, like my main why is just helping my family out, like my mom and dad.
Okay.
So I guess it's like a financial freedom
Okay.
type of thing. Sorry, I'm gonna get emotional.
No, see, good why, powerful why, people. This is what should happen.
But yeah, I mean, I don't mind working, and yeah, like just like Donna said, like I have a whole boss that just gets on my nerves, and it would be cool to not work, but I have to stay busy. I have to work. It's just who I am. But making extra money to take care of my family would be great.
Okay, great. So I want you to take that emotion and I want you to write it all on paper. I want you to not only write like how it would make you feel, like write down, I will feel this way when I help my family, like, and write it down. And then, you know, you need to, with a goal like that, make sure you really put into paper, what does that look like? How much money does that look like? What, you know, and then you have a clear thing of where you can go next. But, I think that I can see it right now. That is a very, very, very powerful why. Just give it power and put it to paper and tell people. So you've already told people. I'm sure your upline knows. And, you know, if you haven't told key people in your life what you're doing this for, make sure you do so. Because the time that you give it power is when it really takes off. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. And, you know, an exercise that might be really good for you, really, really honed in for me, was answering a perfect day in my life would include. And whether you're an artistic person, you can draw a beautiful picture of what that would include, or whether you just write it down, it can maybe give you a little more insight of what you're digging deep for. But it sounds like you've got it really well planned out, but just really, again, do your S steps, secure all, you know, state all your positions so that you can, like Shelly said, reverse engineer it all. And thank you, Shannon. Reverse engineer it all and get to your goal. So those would be my suggestions for you, but just make sure you get it on paper somewhere. And then, you know, it always helps to put a dollar amount with it, just so you know what you're going for, because then when you hit it, you're like, I hit it, you know, I'm there. But if you don't put that dollar amount to it, you won't have a realistic, what am I trying to say? You won't have a realistic gauge of your success, right? Because you won't know what you need to reach it, if that makes sense. Thank you so much for sharing. I know it's not easy, but I can just see it already that you're on the right path. So good job.
Thank you.
Miss Emily, how's it going?
Hi, daylight savings time got the best of me, so
Oh, me too.
I was like, oh, it's 6:30. No, just kidding. It's 7:30.
No problem. It's recorded, so you can go back through and watch the first part.
I don't know. You've been pushing me to do this for a while, and like, I haven't gotten there yet. So,
Okay.
I don't know. Like, like, this was my dream big right here, like have my business and have my, like, I'm like a real person now. I don't know. Like, I own a business. And so now I'm here, and I don't know where to go after that. And because I'm here where, like, a year ago, this was not possible. This was not, I don't know.
I hear what you're saying. I totally hear it. First thing I'm going to say right off the bat is listening to this call from start to finish is going to help you. I've wanted you to do this exercise for a long time. So essentially, I'll go over it really short, but you're going to take a pen and paper, and you're going to answer some questions on a blank sheet of paper. If you're artistic, it's much better to draw. I will show you my drawing. I am not a drawer. So answer some questions like a perfect day in my life would include, if I had all the time and money in the world, blank, blank, blank. I was meant to blank. So by doing this, you're going to see and you're going to realize what you really want. The one that makes me get to my why the quickest is if I had all the time and money in the world, right? Because if you're doing this to make money because it's a business, right, which I can only assume you are, then what can Beachbody give you? What will it give you? What are you going to do with this cash cow, Emily? You're going to be making so much money by the end of this year. What are you going to do with it? What, you just going to keep it in a savings account? I don't think so. So what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with all this money you're earning that you haven't earned in the past, you know? So be selfish with it. That's the only time I've gotten power to this business is when I'm selfish. What does Ashley want? And Ann had to say it to me. This isn't, you're bringing Joe off the road. That wasn't for me. That was for him, and he didn't even want it. I spent a whole year working on something that he didn't even want, you know? Yeah. So that's kind of sucks. I mean, I did good, I guess, but be selfish with your why. This is for you. This is for what Emily wants. This is for hone it in real tight.
Yeah.
And it's scary, and it should be scary, but the moment you realize what it is and go through the steps that I, went through on this call earlier before you joined in, guarantee you'll find it. And the minute you do, it's going to be, I'm going to have to put on some, I don't know what. I'm going to have to put on big girl. This shit's going to go crazy. I can tell you that much. So here's a good one I was going to mention, because I think we've gotten through everyone. But John C. Maxwell, put your dream to the test. So Emily, you're not ready for this yet because you have to have you have to have it in, you have to go through the steps that I just put you all through. You got to have your dream, then you put it to the test. And I read this book on our way to Summit, and I didn't have my dream. So half of this book, I was like, I don't understand any of this, But it's a good book once you have your dream to make sure that you're doing all the steps to get there.
Well, and it's not just, it's not just Beachbody. I was reading Business in Blue Jeans, and she's a business consultant. And the first thing she does is have people write down, what do you want? Like, what is your goal? And she says, the people who can't do that fail.
Yeah.
The people who won't do that fail. So I understand it's not, but I don't know. It's weird to open up like that, I guess. I don't know.
So what part scares you the most?
I don't know. I just I already can't believe that. I don't know. I really.
Is it not achieving it? Is it if I set these really, really big goals and I don't achieve them this year, how am I going to feel?
Maybe I've done so many things and not done so many things.
Okay.
Every time I feel if I say I'm going to do something and then I don't do it, it's just one more little stack in the things.
Okay.
Emily hasn't done this stuff that she said she was going to do.
So I essentially, from what I hear you saying, is something I read in this book. And I'm trying to find it because I don't think I read it all. But if I can't find it right this minute, then I will talk to you about it in our group. But it sounds like you're roadblocked by, not really lack of confidence. You're roadblocked by settling for average right now because you already hit it. But I think what you're really struggling with is being hindered by past disappointments and hurts.
Yeah.
So really focus on that and think about it. And they say that disappointment is the gap that exists between expectations and reality. And disappointments can be very damaging to us. So it's possibility that because you're harboring these past experiences in life that maybe you did disappoint, or even yourself or someone else or whatever, that you're now I can't do this because I didn't do this, Well, I can tell you that you want to know one of the number one reasons that I never wanted to lose weight is because I didn't want to look thinner than I did in my wedding pictures. How crazy is that? Okay, I made a video about it. Find it on my Facebook like page. I seriously, for years was oh, hell no, I'm not going to look better now than I did on that dress. I mean, how silly is that, right? But that was a disappointment. I had let myself down. I did not get to a goal that I wanted to my wedding day. I'm not happy about how the pictures turned out, right? It's all in your head. But that limited me for 6 years. 6 years. I did not get healthy and fit because of that. That's mind-blowing to me, right? So thank God I got over that. And, just like you'll get over all that too. And it's just, it takes a long time. It's taken me 3 years. Like Shelly says, hers is constantly changing as well. So just be gentle with yourself and know that somewhere in there is your big dream. Let it out of the closet let your hubby know, let us know. And, you know, it's when you believe that you will achieve it is when you're like, all right, I'm good. I can talk about this. So, and maybe you just need to start with something simple. Maybe you need to start with a list that says my list on the top and what BB, Beachbody, can and will give to me, right? And then write it down. And maybe that's a lot less stress for you than like having to make a video, having to have this big dream. It's just, what is it going to give you? What this year in 2015, for what we have left, what is it going to give you? You know? And maybe that's just a little bit easier than having to have this whole thing concocted, you know?
Yeah.
And then once you make that list, you can probably go through it and be like, oh, well, here's your why. It's sitting right in front of us, you know? But you know you got to do it. And if it's like that thing for me that it's like television is, if this is like what that is and it's at the front of your head the whole time, like, why am I doing this? I got to have my why, you know? You got to do it, right? Look at the Diamond to Dash stuff we've learned about, the whys. We know.
Yeah.
So you got this. Just don't overthink it too much.
Yeah, that's
I'm not
probably.
going to stop pushing you.
I know. I know, and I appreciate it.
Okay, well, I'll open it up final if anybody has any last comments, or Emily, if you wanted to say anything else. And then I will end meeting if we're all good to go. Thank you for listening to me read that book. That's not how I intended on doing it, but it was just too good to not share. So, all right, thank you guys so much for taking the time, and we will be seeing you in the group, and we'll see you next Sunday.
Thank you.
Bye.